Oh, haha, I'm on. I'm on the screen. As you can see, it says, we don't even know show starts at 8 p.m. Eastern. So we have approximately 5 to 6 minutes till show time. Can you hear me? Does it sound better? Okay. So we're just gonna wait then. I'm gonna turn off the reverb. There. Does that sound better? I don't know. I don't even know if you're responding or not because I can't see if you're, maybe if I click this thing on my phone. It says one person is watching. That's probably me. That's probably me watching. Wait, now it says 3 people watching. That's probably Shonali and Christian are probably watching. All right. Do you like the new graphics, the new show graphics? Hit a like in the comment section if you like this, if you like the new graphics. Let me know. Let me know in the comments below. I got a new pen. Can you see it? It's the voting pen that you get when you vote. And they have when you go to vote, they have like a tablet and they ask you to sign it. And I thought it was gross using my finger, but I did it anyway. And the guy was pointing at the cup of pens, and I'm like, okay, I think he just wants me to take a pen so I can fill out the ballot. But I didn't realize he wanted me to sign with the pen on the tablet because I thought, why would you use a pen to sign on the tablet? But apparently, this pen has a rubber tip on it, like a capacitive tip that you can use on a tablet. And then if you click this, that's when the little ballpoint part comes out. So it's like a tablet stylus and a regular pen. Ingenious. Who would ever thought that this was also a tablet stylus? You would just think they were regular pens. If you had a cup full of these, you would just think they were regular pens. You wouldn't ever. I bet when people when they tell the people to tell the voters to sign the tablet with this, I bet so many people probably did that and started writing with the ballpoint pen part. And that's wrong. They should explain it better before you go, like on the website, the voting websites. Okay, now we have 3 minutes to go. Only 2 people were watching. 1 person left. I guess we have 2 minutes left. So we're just gonna look at my face for the next 2 minutes before the show starts. Or you can look at the new graphics. Can you hear the motorcycle outside? You probably can't because there's probably the Zoom probably has some kind of noise reduction feature that's you can't hear the motorcycle outside. It says Lauren McDonald is watching. Say aloha. Where does it say? Where does it say that she's watching?
On the
Oh, there it is. She says aloha. Okay, we got 1 more minute to go. He has 2 hands.
Jason, is that a smiley emoji telling you to smile?
Oh yeah.
That's perfect.
That's the that's gonna be the YouTube thumbnail. Okay, here we go. It's 8 o'clock. Time for the show. Let everyone give a warm welcome to Shonali, Bhowmik, and Christian Felix. How do I turn myself off?
Jason Lam, that was a master class, and how you warm up the crowd. That was just, oh my God, Shonali.
It's like so much better than cable access. No one would come up with that other than
But
Jason.
we would never say it's so much better than our intern. Right. We would never say that because we miss our intern no matter what he does before the show.
Our intern is out. He wishes he could be here, but he had a baby.
He had more important things to do, evidently.
Yeah.
He had more important things to do, like help his wife-to-be have a baby.
Do you think that he would be the only intern having a baby? Do interns have babies? I mean,
yes,
obviously
Shonali,
he's a man.
Well, maybe you're right. I think that
they're usually really young and they're like kids.
You're right. I think
out of school.
We should check in with the Guinness Book of World Records. Maybe he's making a world record. You know what, Shonali? We need to jump into the show because we have so much to talk about.
Do it.
But you know, Shonali, something I want to say is I want to dedicate this opening number to Justin, Laura, and little Zachary, okay?
Zachary, we're so excited for the new family.
This is to you all. This is to you all. Hope you all get some sleep. A 1.
All right.
A 2. A 1, 2,
3. We don't even know. We don't even know. With Christian Felix, Shonali, Bhowmik, Justin the Intern, Jason the Lam. We don't even know. No.
One more time with feeling for Zachary.
We don't even know.
No, we don't.
We don't even know. With Christian Felix, Shonali, Bhowmik, Justin the Intern, Jason the Lam. We don't even know. Woo!
We don't even know. We don't even know, Zachary, like you. You don't even know, Zachary. You don't even know. Okay.
I do, but we'll talk about that later. Christian, first of all, it's great to see you. You are not with us right now in New York City. You have taken a trip, and that's what we need to start this show. We are so excited to be with you guys, but wow, what a month. We thought last month we started out discussing how exhausted we are already going so-called back to quote normal end quote.
Yeah,
because we were starting to be social again.
True.
And we were all like becoming sort of, well, we're just like getting into the groove of
Yeah, and in
real,
some ways we were like, oh my God, like we're around so many people and this feels great, but we're fatigued and oh my
we were
gosh.
tired of seeing too many
Oof.
people already. And I would say that that story continued for me to a whole other direction that I did not know would happen. And just for those of you that know me well, you may know this already, but Christian, let's talk about right now, out the gate, I attended my first super spreader event after over a year and a half of being diligent, making sure I wore my mask everywhere, only seeing my family, my closest friends, a pod, a very tight pod. I didn't travel on a plane that entire
I mean, you
time.
were almost tricked into it though, Shonali, too, with this.
Well, this is what I'm not saying that. I'm going to say I learned a lot from this.
Diplomatic, Shonali, always the diplomat.
Well, the diplomat is, you know what I learned? You cannot assume people are vaccinated wherever you go.
Right.
That is a lesson. And
Right.
I went on a family trip with extended family with Jasper to Costa Rica. Another lesson. The CDC's guidelines said do not go to Costa Rica. I did that. So I am confessing to you guys that this person that's relatively thoughtful, that was really adhering to the strict guidelines for so long, became lax due to having a vaccine. And I thought if we just go to Costa Rica and we stay masked for the most part, except for the crew that we were with, that I assumed was all vaccinated, we would be fine. It ended up we were not fine. And due to some unvaccinated people with us in this crew that were sick, without us knowing they were sick, Jasper caught COVID-19. So after all this time, he was a breakthrough case. And I will tell you guys that 3 people on this trip, there were 13 adults, 3 of the vaccinated got sick and 3 of the unvaccinated. I had no idea I was with unvaccinated people.
Right.
This is the lesson. So this is to say to all of you guys, this variant is real. All the news has come out. Now it's been 2 weeks later. I've informed my friends, but all of you guys, please stick to your mask indoors. You don't want to get this regardless. Definitely the unvaccinated people had much more serious symptoms than the vaccinated people, including Jasper. He's still not fully got his taste or smell back, but he had the fever.
Concerning to me.
Yeah, I agree. It's not something we all
You know
want.
what, Shonali, I mean, I'm just so happy that you are talking about this. And, you know, I learned pretty early on, and you guys have been one of the most vigilant and careful people that are in my circle. And so when you get impacted by this in such a personal way, and thank God that Jasper is, you know, on the road to recovery, is better. But it was a major disruption for you guys, and it still was very uncomfortable, and it caused a lot of just anxiety. And I think the biggest lesson that I learned, because I'm having to travel now, I'm in Chicago, I'm in Evanston, I'm in my mother's bedroom, but we won't get into that. And
exciting.
But the lesson that I'm learning, because I've been sharing the cautionary tale with folks, but the lesson I've learned is essentially your health is in your own hands. And you can't really give anybody else the benefit of the doubt. You just have to do what feels right to you. And based on your information, it's just, and your experience, it's just like, what feels right to me is taking COVID seriously still. As much as we're fatigued by it, we still have to take it seriously. So thank you for sharing. I'm happy Jasper's getting better.
And that means also all of us getting tested regularly. It's so much easier. You can get a kit from the drugstore. There are also ways online to get free tests shipped to you, but it's really easy. And because we could be asymptomatic, and it's just like there's not enough. We have so many unvaccinated people. There's mutations happening as we speak. Everybody, please just urge your friends, your family to get vaccinated. I just had not even thought of the reality that I would be with people unvaccinated, because I just hadn't. So Yeah, everybody is serious. It's happening. This surge is going up. We had like 80,000 cases in the US yesterday. Our
Yeah,
norm, like, I mean, that's back in April. All right, I'm good. I'm just to
good.
say to you guys, I'm not doing some of the things that I did a month ago. And I
Right.
now re-see what I was doing. And now that this variant is here, I will not be going into a small bar with my friends who I assume are vaccinated and hanging out and talking like 2 inches from their face. And just like Lizzo, I just saw yesterday, she says, "Don't do it. Don't do it. Do not come to her. You stay 6 feet away from her." And she said, "I will be rude." And she said, "It's not about you. It's about me. I am protecting myself. I'm protecting you. Keep your distance. Don't take it for granted. Don't assume anything." So
I hear you, Shonali. I'm staying
my
6 feet away from
PSA,
you, Shonali. I'm staying
say you
6 feet away from you.
but I wanted to share some fun news in
Mm,
this past month. Is that you you get to go to Prospect Park, which is such a beautiful place, and I get to walk by the water. We do have these like daily routines that you and I both have, but
we
I
do,
don't.
Shonali. Where you
Yeah,
going with this? Where you going
well,
with
I
this?
don't get cheered on by random strangers
Huh,
very
is that
often.
what you would call it? Is that what you would call it? It's interesting how you interpret. So everyone, we got to catch everyone up to speed. What folks don't know, big news for Shonali. She had to deal with Delta in a very personal way. Big news for me is I'm getting a little older. I'm getting a little older. And I did something in my
You,
back. Well, I did something in my back. So I've been trying to work it
I
out.
didn't bring
And
it up. I didn't bring it up.
well, now I have to talk about it. So I was in Prospect Park walking around the park, and I was walking, maybe perhaps I was breathing a little bit more heavy than I do, working out. The back was really sore. And in the middle, this is what Shonali's referencing, this cheer that I get. In the middle of this older black man was walking from like the trails onto like the main path, and he sees me. He sees me. There's no one else around. He just sees me. And he starts slow clapping. And he says, big man, come on, big man. You got it, big man. Come on, you got it, big man. And at first I was like, oh my, he's talking, he's cheering me on, like this is the Tour de France, like this is the Brooklyn Marathon. I don't know what he's cheering me on. So I must have looked, so I looked and I felt like I had to give an excuse for the way I looked. I said, yeah, I'm getting old. And he just took a look and he said, oh, big man. And I said, oh my God, like if this was a script, I would be big man. Like that would be, can we get big man on the set? Big man. And Shonali calls that a cheer. I called her right away and I said, do you know what someone just yelled at me? They call me big man. She goes, well, you must have looked certain type of way. You must have looked like you were on a mission.
That's what I think. He saw that you were on a mission and he was supportive of that mission. That's what I think. You had a look in your eyes of, I got to take care of business. And that's what he saw. He didn't, you are taller and bigger.
Okay,
You're a
let's stop
bigger
right there.
person.
Yep, okay. Yep, okay. We hear you. We hear you loud and clear.
I'm looking down. I'm like, I wouldn't know if Matt Arnold's out there because, he would have something to say about this, but
I'm sure he will, but you know what? We have stuff to do. We have stuff,
we
other
have
people to
stuff. We
celebrate,
have
Shonali.
guests. We have wonderful guests that are going to join us. We'll ask them what they think about that cheer because, well, there's many. We just know we can talk to our next guest pretty
You know
much
what,
about
Shonali? I
anything.
can't wait to apply that cheer to you. Big lady. Big lady. Come on, big lady. You got it, big lady.
Hey, I wish I could be. I'm always known as being short. You know what I mean? And small. I want to be big in my
Okay,
entrances.
then I'm gonna call you small lady. Small lady, come on, small lady.
That's what I'm saying. You want to make a big entrance. You want to be, you don't want to be cute. You know what I mean?
Listen,
You
when
don't
I'm
want,
walking in the park, I want to be cute. I want to be cute. Like, oh, cute. Like, not big man, big man. Like, what? Like, no, I wasn't big man. I was just walking.
well, it's a part of the theme of our show. It's been a long part. It's been a theme where you've had to deal with some moments. And that's what called we don't even know. We don't know. We just share what's happening to us. This is it. This is our lives. This is it. It's unraveling. And we get to bring in fabulous people to hang with us,
We
right?
do.
So let's
We
do
do.
it. Let's do it. Our very first guest tonight, it's night. It is we're right in the middle of lots going on in the world. We got oh yeah, we got the House investigation, the officers
Yes.
that spoke today, which I
Yes.
will give you the names at the end of this. That they were really so super uh, brilliant and courageous and eloquent in talking about the times and what they're going through and how we should be there for them. They're standing up for us, and I agree. It's so insane that this has sort of been minimized by a certain party, certain bunch of people, but. And on with that, then we have the Olympics going on, but we also have We Don't Even Know with amazing guests like our next guest, who we met recently, and we just instantly all clicked together. And honestly, we met her, and we just knew she was made of greatness, but we actually didn't even know exactly all the amazing things she's done. That's how intrigued and like wonderful, intrigued we were by her, but also how we just were like, you got to be on the show. I just know we need to talk to you. So I since doing my research on Helen, our next guest, I found out well she's worked in fashion for a long time, but she left to start her own nonprofit that's dealing with environmental concerns, dealing with the fashion industry, and then she's got to tell me about this, but I saw filmmaking in there.
Mm.
She won a fund award to make a film, and she also has this amazing white jumpsuit that we love. So
That's
we're
true.
we're
But
going to talk about all these
Shonali,
things.
didn't she start a bed and
Helen,
breakfast too?
I didn't hear about that, but I mean, I didn't know about that one. Let's
All
ask her.
right.
Helen Nwosu. I want to make sure I'm saying that correctly so she can correct me. But Helen, welcome. Join us. I think that actually Jason just let you in. We're so excited
Yeah.
that you're here. And as you can see, Christian's in the
Hi guys! Oh my god! What's
it's
up,
so
guys?
good. So you guys, we wanted to hang out with Helen immediately after we met her, and the era is COVID. So I was like, okay, you need to be a guest when we do it back in a real live room. But we couldn't
Right, I
wait
do remember
because
that.
because we just want to be with you, and so we'll have to do that again, that too.
I
But
can't wait for that. Hi,
we're so
Christian.
hi.
Helen, where are you dialing in from?
I'm dialing in from upstate.
Upstate.
It
Yeah.
looks like an upstate space. It does not look like your New York City apartment. The rafters, these are things we don't have here, you
I
know.
know it's crazy. I'm crazy lucky. Although I haven't really done anything with this house, I've just been sitting here during COVID. But it's a great space.
So was upstate
Yeah.
a thing for you before COVID, or did it become a thing for you during COVID?
No, I'm part of that COVID crowd that was like, let me get up out of here. And so most people were like, let's go to Hudson or let's go to somewhere. But, you know, I'm Poe. So I had to go all the way 3 hours north and find some place that was like, I was crawling past all those like, now can we stop? Now can we stop? No. So we're basically in Canada. I almost made it to Canada.
Now I see how it works. I was like, what? Why? How do people make this decision of where to go? That's what it is. So I'd
And
be
now
like
that
10 hours out.
Yeah, and now that you've gone all the way, you've stayed there, clearly there's something about it that you like because you're still there. What do you think is like the biggest thing you miss, like when you're there and not in New York? Like,
Well, it's interesting, Christian, because I told the line, I just happened to be up here because I had to drop my kid off in New Hampshire for camp. But when I'm up here, I think there's just this, I don't know, it's just like you're one with nature, and there's just like this, all that mumbo jumbo, but there's still that like, I need Thai food at 1 a.m., but there's no place to call. And like yesterday, I resorted to like finding the little crumbles at the end of the Trader Joe's bags. And I was like, oh, this is a nice dinner. This is what I'm eating. Because there's no options. If you have no food, there's no options.
I literally said that today. Jasper was like, I'm hungry for Cuban. I'm going to go, across the street or get it. And then we were eating it. I was like, you do realize this was better than any of the Cuban food we had in Cuba. Like it was beans and rice, and it was.
I know.
And it's like, it's right here. Like, you can't take it for granted, that there's, yeah.
I know. But then, it's funny that you guys mentioned that, because when I think back at the city where I met you guys, that day I had been in downtown Brooklyn, and we were going to our mutual friend, beautiful SK's party. And right before I left, I walked past this mobile drag unit, right? And it's like during summer, during Pride, these drag queens roll up on a flatbed truck and do a number in the middle of downtown Brooklyn. And I literally was in my pocket, like counting out my ones, my stack of $1 bills. I was like, I wonder if I can get them to come to this party with me. And I stood in line, and I'll send you guys a picture after this of me standing in line waiting to talk and be like, hi, can you come to my friend's birthday party with me, please?
That's amazing.
Because I wanted to be. But then I was like, I counted all $5 that I had in my pocket, and I was like, that's not going to be enough tonight. That's enough for the strip club. That's where you're going to
not for these, not for these ladies.
Ladies of the night. No, not for these queens.
No.
It wasn't enough. But next time, that's my goal, to show up at a party with like 2 drag queens in tow and be like, let the party start now. Let the party start now. That's my dream.
Helen, did you hear me say you are one of the few people we've ever invited on this show without even really knowing all about you. At least I have a background of people before I asked them. And we were just like, we have to have you. And of course, then I did more research, and I was like, oh my goodness, you've done so much, and you're so, obviously we knew it. That's my talent and Christian's talent. We can tap into the greatness of human beings without knowing specifics, and we were right. And when I saw that you had been working in fashion for so long, and then you took off also, now you're doing some different work. I know you're the VP at Pros of Social Impact, which we'll discuss. I know you're like figuring out the definition of that right now, but I had just ranted to Jasper about the sustainability of fashion and disposable fashion, and like, where is all this stuff going? Yeah. And then I saw that you started a nonprofit that actually is like tapped into that exact issue.
Absolutely.
Which, right? It seems so crazy now when we think about it, that we're just like making all these crazy clothes that get thrown away in weeks at a time. And where did they go? So what is it? And can you tell us like how it happened? And
yeah, of course. And I also love that, people are becoming more aware, of the cost of what they wear, and making informed decisions, not only about, I think the decision now is not like, ooh, am I going to look cute in that on Friday night? It's also like, okay, I better look cute, but the people who made it must be taken care of. Just, you're thinking about the downstream effects and the upstream effects of whatever you're wearing. So that 360-degree awareness is something that I think we've kind of honed in, not only during the pandemic, but slowly but surely as we become more globally connected. I mean, we are all brown people on this panel right here on this podcast. So we know that the people who often suffer most for making clothes, are people from sub-Saharan Africa, the Indian subcontinent, Asia. So it's really this idea of global awareness of where your clothes from. And I think also, I think we all just have to take a moment. I mean, I remember when I first moved to New York, I worked at Urban Outfitters, and I'd get paid, and I'd walk from the 72nd and Broadway Urban Outfitters down to like Soho, and I'd have $0 by the time I walked. You know, like everything was spent on like vendors or whatever. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, it was. And now as I grew older and I, went up the ladder and went to different fashion companies, including the J. Crews, the Anthropologies, and Louis Vuitton, and so on. And I really started to think about what the effects of those clothes were, And I think brands are also becoming very aware that
I was just
consumers.
going to ask that. Yeah, I was going to ask that about the brands that you have experience with, but also kind of your perspective on the industry. Like, do you think, so you just said that you think that they are beginning to kind of waken up, and how is that manifesting itself in their practice, their kind of where they're engaging with labor? And also, do you think that they were motivated because of the consumer, or do you think that they just were like, we want to be better retailers?
I think certainly the consumer is the tipping point. I think, when your consumers demand something, and this is the power of, the homely consumer who's like, I'm just walking in to buy something. En masse, we represent such a huge turn of the profits that if we speak in a certain way, the brands are going to listen. And I think each cycle feeds itself. As people become more aware, brands start to shift, and then as brand starts to shift, consumers. So it's a circular path, which really ends up to the circular decision-making process where, we put, which is with the company I'm on right now. When you say that, my CEO is such a mindful person that he brought me on and say, hey, this is what I want to do. This is the company that I started. This is what I want to do with it. Can you help me do this? These are this is my brand ethos, and these are the things that we're committed to, and we want to put our money where our mouth is and just really make this happen. And they created this position, have this position really specifically for sustainability, for social impact. And I think that's the way more brands are moving, because consumers are demanding that.
That's good news. I like good news.
I know that is good news. That is good news. So I just like all the things that everybody out there does, all the decisions that they make where they decide like, okay, I'm going to buy because from this brand because they do this and this different. Or if they say, oh, this brand is supporting, I don't know, whatever, the Me Too movement, or working with art and children with disabilities, like whatever it is, when you support with a brand that has a stance like that, you're speaking from your wallet, which is pretty powerful thing to do. So really it's the consumers. It's the consumers that we should be thanking. Thank you, consumers.
And I would say too that it's really great to see younger. I have a 13 and 15-year-old, nieces, and this is how they speak. This isn't necessarily how my peers speak. This is how they speak. And they talk to me about the environment, and they talk to me about, especially the younger one. The young one's really, really concerned about buying clothes and like really just like, I don't want to spend too much on clothing. I'm like, oh my God, this is so cool.
It's very mind-blowing. It's very mind-blowing. And when I was going through this process, Shonali, I went through, once I left fashion and fast fashion and all that, I did this not a weird thing, but I went through this process where I traveled and I came back and I decided I was going to be vegan. And so I really implemented that into my lifestyle. And I would show up at like my friends' parties. I have friends that are from Venezuela, and they're really close friends. I'd show up at their party and they'd slap me with a rib. Like, what are you talking about? Why would you want to be vegan? What's wrong with you? Let's talk. And then their daughter would be like, and she's 13 at the time. She's like, oh, I want to, and she became vegan after I became vegan. You know what I'm saying? So it's the youth, right? The youth. Everybody else like slapping me with a rib, like, put this in your mouth, That's
the tough love. That's the tough love in Venezuela.
And this is what that's a segue into so the Olympics is happening right now. And you're used to like these traditions that a lot of it has changed because of COVID. But yes, the past few days, this news about the Norway female beach handball team standing up for like not having to wear those freaking skinny. I Justin to share a pic, just so everyone knows
Oh,
on this
please.
visual podcast. Those of you that are going to only hear the audio, we've got a pic of the Norwegian male handball team versus the female handball team, and the women have to wear the tiniest. It's gotten smaller throughout our lives. The tiniest
Oh
things.
my
You see
goodness.
this?
Yes.
It's like, okay, now these women decided to wear just like, shorts, athletic shorts, the tight spandex ones, and they got fined for that because they decided they do not
Individually,
want to wear them.
$170 each individually for not wearing a bikini, playing a
By the
sport.
European Federation. So it's like, it is not related to the US, but obviously the Olympics have those same little bikini things, and the
Oh,
men
I
don't.
know.
So I
I will
just
say,
like,
Shonali, I will say in response to that episode, one of the best things that I saw was a
Yeah.
group of men, like burly men, made a video of them playing volleyball in
those
bikinis.
things.
Oh my gosh, that's so great.
In bikinis, and they are really playing, like they're being serious with it. And you see it, and they're, because some of them have beards and like chest hair, and like, they're guys in these like skimpy bikinis, but they really do drive the point home that, are you there to watch sports? Or are you there to,
Right.
not?
And like Christian, when you talk about the burly men with the hair, like you forget how much work goes into being a bikini, not only from a body image standpoint, but like from a hair standpoint. And these are professional athletes. Should they be worrying about that, or should they just be like, okay, I'm putting this on and going? And I think in relation to that, I think it's the gymnastics team in Germany. They're wearing like unitards too, like
unitards.
Which of course that makes so much sense. And it's kind of that moment you were talking about, Shonali, earlier, about when something happens and you're just like, oh duh, why haven't we been like, why did we let women have to wear these for like 50 years or whatever the amount is? Like, it's
now this might come as a surprise to you, Helen, and I know it's probably not going to come. Well, it's probably going to come to a surprise to Shonali too. But I've never worn a bikini. I've never worn a bikini. Now, now that my body is changing, I may think that the top part may be full in a little bit more than I would want it to. Okay, but listen, we all changing. Maybe I need to experience it. From what I'm hearing, Helen, maybe I need to like experience and know what it takes to go through with it.
I think what we need to do, like our in-person shows should be in bikinis. And Christian needs to wear one.
Oh my
Shonali and I will wear swimming trunks, but you're going to be wearing a bikini. So thank you for setting that up.
Well, that's one thing that
go
I do
go get waxed, girl. Go get waxed.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God. Okay. All right,
go
we're gonna move on. We're moving on.
I know that's perfect.
But the one swimsuit or a uniform for sports that I do feel is moving in the right direction is Speedo. Speedo for women, if you notice, like I think that it is like, it's much more kind of, it seems like it's built for the sport as opposed to for anything that's covering more of the body. And for the men, they actually got it's not like the skimpy Speedo, it's like biking shorts almost.
Right.
I don't necessarily know if I agree with that one for the men. I think the men need to stay skimpy. They need to stay skimpy. The women need to go, to
the other
experience what it's like to be playing, to be swimming in a thong. Let's see what that's like. Michael Phelps.
It's unbelievable. I just can't believe, like you just said, I still can't believe that it's today. It's 2021, and we're like, hey, why do you make them wear skimpier outfits? Like,
I was today years old when I realized that women don't need to wear skimpy outfits to play great beach volleyball. But also the big thing that in the Olympics, not to switch subjects, but one thing that I was reading and kind of sympathizing with was Naomi Osaka's plight, because she was eliminated, and my heart broke for her, because it was just like this position where she was just going to be representing her home country and playing. And I guess this is the thing about the Olympic spirit, right? Like you train and train for 4 years, but nothing is guaranteed, right?
Right.
And not only that, so in like lamenting with this loser, as in like the person who lost, we also need to celebrate, you know, the young woman who was able to do this because that's her dream and she's 21. And it's just all those emotions that go with Olympics that we all have together. It's one of my most favorite times during like every 4 years. And the only time that really mirrors it is the New York City Marathon, when I'm out there cheering my name out from, you know, Susan from Italy or someone like that. I'm just screaming like I'm their
grandma. It's so fun.
Like, oh, go Susan, you can do this. And, you know, it's just really lovely to have it, even though in a different way. And it's kind of this connection that we don't, but I have a question for you guys about the Olympics. How do you guys feel about, like, you know, the first thing when you first go on the Olympics and it's the scoreboard with who has golds and who doesn't and who has the most gold, and like, you know, United States always like at the top, and then, you know, if you're from a sub-Saharan African country like me, it's like you're not even on the board and you're like, oh great. So what do you guys think about that board with like all the keeping all the tally of the golds and the silver?
It's such you get conflicted every time because, you know, as someone that's like, who cares? Like ultimately, but then you're like, come on, all of a sudden you are cheering for somebody from your country. You know, and there's some connection to, they live here and they've gone through a similar experience. I don't care if you're a blonde, white woman.
Absolutely.
We know personally, I can't help but know all the, especially like with what happened with the gymnastics team and like the suffering. Michael Phelps talks about the mental health issues and like how hard it is to be an Olympic athlete, especially in the United States. I say, because there's no financial compensation. You're financially unstable. You work 5 different jobs. You train nonstop. You miss dances in school. And then like Simone Biles right now, like the pressure of the world's on you. So there's my heart in a way is like, all right, go US, you know?
I hear what you're saying, Shonali, but at the same time, everything that you just mentioned about the trials and tribulations of athletes in the United States would probably be magnified threefold in countries that don't have as many resources. And I think that the same kind of motivation or that kind of spark of nationalism that Shonali articulated, I completely relate with. And when I popped on the swimming, I immediately got like USA, USA. Yeah. But to your point, Helen, I think that, you know, my family, my dad's family's from Haiti. And, you know, I think that the Olympics will benefit from doing a whole PR redo, giving more visibility to everyone who's participating, taking the heat off of like, it doesn't really matter what country's dominating or not. I think that they need to rethink at how they approach how athletes are able to express themselves, and this whole notion that they are trying to make these human beings not political and not their moment to express whatever they're feeling. That needs to go. So I hear what you're saying. I mean, I think that there's a lot of opportunity to make Olympics just more celebratory and like more fun. But I'm real happy that USA is on top of the motherfucking board.
But you know, like, and literally,
it's so funny.
It is, because we're all people that'll be like, I don't need to see the rankings of the countries.
But then we're like, go. I know. But I think what I'm hearing, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
What I think I'm hearing from both of you guys is that, you know, regardless of course, there is this idea of supporting your fellow countrymen and supporting people who have worked so hard to achieve a goal. Like, that's the overwhelming story. A goal, not a gold, right? And so if the Olympics were even to highlight stories, you know, we remember the story of the Jamaican bobsled team? Like, you know, it's really the adversity and the trials and overcoming that human spirit part that really resonates with audiences, regardless of whether they end up with a goal or not. I think it's very, very interesting that those are the stories that resonates. And
I love the way that you put that. And then you said sub-Saharan country. Which sub-Saharan country is it?
Oh, I'm from South Sudan. And I think we've never, ever had an Olympic athlete. We have Olympic athletes that have like moved to first world countries and then trained there. But, you know, those stories about how people are trying to get working and trying to get support and training. I think for a lot of the African countries, that's really true. I know there was a one time where I think like the Nigerian football team was protesting because they hadn't been paid in like 6 months or something like that. So I just think those stories would resonate more. But I do love, log,
the stories.
The stories are so great. Yeah.
The fencing, we had a winner here from Kentucky Coast University. She was the first American to win in fencing. Like Taekwondo, we had a woman win in Taekwondo. Wow. Because where are you getting the support, even in your community, for being a great Taekwondo?
I know.
Yeah.
I know. And then the 13-year-old skateboarders that are like, you're just you're 13. They
made me cry. They make me cry. Jasper's cracking up at me. I'm crying at the 13-year-old skateboarders. Oh my God. And then just to say though, in terms of clothing, go back to fashion. You will not have an Indian beach volleyball team because I've never seen anyone, they're not wearing that outfit. Like that eliminates women in India immediately. Like there's so many countries that women in those countries will not agree to wear that outfit.
Right.
And it's for many reasons, but in this to me at this point I'm like for good reason.
Yeah, they have good reason. It's true. It's true. But it always comes back to the fashions, you're right. And I think I love what you're wearing right now, by the way.
Oh,
Shonali.
thank you guys. This is vintage Oklahoma City thrift. I love it. Thank you so much. And we love you.
We're going to go back to fashion. I really was wanting to ask this question before we moved on the discussion, but from your perspective of all the years of experience you've had being kind of an insider, working for these large retail brands that kind of like are also like high fashion, if you will, as well. Where do you think is the biggest area of like waste? That's the first question. Mm-hmm. And I'm getting serious here. And the second question
that's good. These are great questions.
And the second question I have for you is, in addition to being a more conscientious consumer, is there anything else that someone like me can do to kind of align with sustainability and just kind of the direction that your nonprofit's trying to take the world in?
Absolutely. I think those are very great questions. And insofar as the big companies, I think the biggest form of waste is the fashion cycle. So that you have, spring, fall, summer, like fashion houses are creating things because of quote unquote demand every single season. And also the fast fashion companies mirror that. So there's constantly new stock. If you walk into a Zara and H&M, it's constantly moving. And that cycle, I think in itself is very, very dated. It demands a lot, not only of the workers of the fashion industry, but obviously on the opposite end, the supply end, material, virgin fibers that need to be created. And I think when we talk about fashion's waste problem, we're talking about our earth. I once went to a sustainable fashion conference, and the first person who spoke had nothing to do with fashion in the sense, it was a soil scientist. Because when you think about we're talking about the ground where cotton has to be grown and depleted of its resources as it's constantly being farmed and farmed and farmed. We know that farming should happen in a more sustainable fashion. So it's the cycle in itself. And then, so that's from the industry itself. From the consumer end is this idea of newness. Like, we want the new iPhone, we want new gadgets, we want new clothes all the time. And it's this shift in consumer mindset that has to happen, that we don't have to have something new all the time. That, vintage shopping, which Shonali is still wearing something from Oklahoma City years and years ago. And, upcycling, thrifting, consigning, all those things can lead to a more holistic, sustainable system, both from, a consumer standpoint and also from a brand standpoint. And it's interesting because what will happen with that when we reduce that cycle is that, let's say you're making one collection a year or one item a year, that collection is going to be made so well that it's going to last a lot longer. And, on the other end, when I talk to people who buy bulk clothing, because part of my work was talking to people who buy all the things that you don't want, all the things that you wear once and take to Goodwill have to be purchased and either sold to thrift store, sold to sub-Saharan Africa, which is where the secondary market predominantly is.
Mhm.
And they're saying that they actually don't like the fast fashion also because it deteriorates the value of the clothes that they're sending there, So all
Right.
around system that doesn't work. So I think that those two aspects, like reducing that fashion cycle and also consuming in a way, thrifting, putting emphasis on vintage clothing, upcycling, those are ways that we can kind of combat the problem from both the industry end and the consumer end. And then overall our mindset, right? Our mindset.
Woo-hoo!
Yeah.
Helen, someone came ready for the show. Someone needs to run for president. I would love for you.
I love it. I think it's so important. It's so important because, I mean, just like us not realizing till today that these women are forced to wear these outfits they don't even want to wear.
Yeah.
Same way, we all just like continue these cycles of existence and don't think and are not thinking about the end results.
I know.
You know what, Helen? After this conversation, I just might wear white after Labor Day. Watch it.
I'm ready.
I just wanted a special shout out because SK Gillingham, who is our beloved mutual friend, how we met Helen, she just pointed out on Facebook that Pink had said that she would pay the volleyball team's fines. And I saw that they responded that they didn't need that because the federation there was going to pay it. Someone else said to me, they don't even need to pay fines, which I agree. Like, you don't need to pay it.
Right.
Who cares? But
I think that's so
thank
cool.
you, SK.
Pink is really amazing that she's a pretty amazing artist. She's been kind of ahead of time for a long time. Yeah. And I think there's changes that are happening. The company that I work for now is I would call it made to order. And I think that's another way to solve the problem is we don't have a huge stock of items. They make it as soon as someone orders something. And that mindset also is the idea of just make what you need, make what needs to be consumed. I don't think the idea of having millions and millions of pieces sitting in a warehouse somewhere is appealing to anybody anymore, because they're special. So we have, I think we've come such a long way, but I think we do also have some work to do. And I think that, people like you who are talking about it, and Christian, who's going to be bucking fashion trends and wearing white after Labor Day. Darling, how dare you?
It might be, I might get crazy. It might be a white bikini. Watch me. But I think what you're saying is so important. I'm so happy that you are amplifying this message. It's an important one to hear. I love the fact that you are kind of characterizing it as an opportunity to do better, and I just hear so much optimism.
I'm so optimistic because the reason Shonali said, I think the youth, have just this drive and this look at the world that we can't have just because of who we are and our age and how our experience, but they're just so fresh. And that's what really drives me. I think the decisions that I see youth making, I think even right now, it's the youth that are really pressing for, a relook at our work environment, like with this looming date of people, most people like me are like, okay, I'll go back to my cubicle and
but they're standing up against it.
Yeah. They're like, no, let's rethink. It's this constant rethinking of the systems that we have and saying, wait, do they work? Do they better us? Is this the way that we can optimize the human experience on this planet? And
optimize the human experience. I love it. I'm going to use all of this. Helen, we could talk to you for another hour and 2 and 3. When we do this in a real live space, we'll do it again. And we'll also meet on the dance floor after the show. Right. And I will wear my jumpsuit. You wear your jumpsuit.
I will. Christian will be in a bikini. And I'll bring the drag queens. So it's a date. Yes. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Helen. Great to see you even from afar. Look forward to seeing you again.
I'll see you guys soon. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Shonali. Bye.
Bye. Wow, what an amazing human being.
Yes, we knew it. We felt it. We were right. Thank you, Helen. And I wanted to make sure everyone knows her organization is called Science Couture. And it is about upcycling, recycling. I think there's even links on her site where you can donate your clothes, send them to her instead of throwing them away, so that they can be either reused, upcycled, or actually disposed in a environmentally friendly way, whatever possible way that is. But there's so much waste in disposing even our clothes. It's just crazy. So thank you, Helen.
Thank you, Helen.
And Christian,
Thank you,
I want to just ask you a little bit more about where you're at. You're in your mom's bedroom.
I know. Forgive me if I'm not like myself. I'm constantly fighting the desire to like say the rosary, like a Hail Mary, you know, or I don't know, put a sleep mask on, you know, put a sleep mask on and go to sleep, or I don't know, watch an opera, La Boheme. I'm just like channeling my mama energy. So
I love it. I love
like,
your mom.
She was like, Christian, don't let them see any furniture. I haven't dusted. I'm like, if you look, I literally
like we're gonna see the
my
dust.
reflection. I can see my reflection in everything. Like that chair, it's fabric. I can see myself. It's like it's spick and span.
Oh my God, I love her. Oh, I love homes like that.
But you know, if you notice, like I'm doing a very G-rated. I haven't used any swear words. I'm like kind of like, you know, I'm in mama's house. I'm in mama's house.
You haven't. Homes like that are so intimidating to me, though. Like, because then it's like they can't come to my house, because if they see, it's not like I have a dirty house, but it's like you can't see your reflection in my furniture, or my table.
I can see my reflection in everything that my mom and my entire. But it's great to be home. I'm really happy I can be here. It's great to see my mom. She bought me a brand new pair of shoes today, Shonali.
Can you share them with us?
I'm afraid I can't right now. They're still in the box, but they are.
Well,
she took me to her shoe store. This is kind of funny.
Are these orthopedic shoes?
It's kind of for old people.
She's seeing you in Crocs. What else is she gonna think?
Oh, speaking of which, I wore my Crocs on the plane today. And guess what? The security guard in Chicago said, are they really comfortable? She saw me curbside waiting for my mama. She go, are they really that comfortable? I said, they're more comfortable than you ever know. She goes, really? She goes, really? She said that my mom just shushed me, by the way. She just told me to be
She doesn't even know. Talk about we don't even know. She doesn't even know how we really roll.
She literally was like, for those of you listening,
she raised this loud son, and she's not used to his loud voice.
She's not used to the rambunctiousness at 8 p.m. on a
you know,
Tuesday.
This rambunctiousness is going to take us into our new segment. We don't even know. It's a very special segment. We have our wonderful. We're going to put on before he comes on to join us. But our new segment is called Game Changers. And this came to us when Christian and I realized there were just some amazing moments that came to us that changed our lives, that we learned. And we just we need to share these things. And we have a guest that's going to join us. But first, he's going to play us our new trailer into the segment. It's called Game Changers. Take it away, Jason.
Game changers, it's often lost to the game to you. Game changers, it's often lost to the game to you. Game changers, it's lost to the game to you. Game changers, it's often lost to the game to you.
Thank you, Jason. Bring it on, Jason. Let's discuss this
Jason,
right
thank you
now.
for that, man. Oh yeah, bring it on. Look at the game changer himself, Jason.
We are so excited that you are here with us, and let's just let everyone in on the fact that you created that masterpiece for us. We asked you if you could do it, and of course, within a day, Jason came out with the game changers, and
I did it.
it's so good. I explained to Jason what a game changer is, and I think I'm just gonna let him take away. Do you want me to go first, or you want to go? Let me go first. You go second.
Okay.
Let's just do that. That way you have an idea. Game changers, you guys. I had 3 of them this past week. I'm gonna share the one, maybe 2, but the one that really blew me away is that I spend so many seconds, if not minutes, in the grocery store with those plastic bags, and the produce. And I keep thinking, oh, it's my fingers. They don't have any tread. I can't open them. I sit there and sit there and sit there with the mask on. So this really cute man came up to me and he started asking me the difference between parsley's, and I explained it to him. I had my mask on. He had his mask on, and I said, well, he was like, I'm sorry to bother you. I was like, don't worry. I'm sitting here for 10 minutes. It'll be 10 more minutes of me doing this, figure out how to open this bag. And then he said, well, you know what I do is I lick my finger to open it. It was like, I have a mask on. We don't lick our fingers anymore. He said, oh, just put your hand over here where the wet produce is, get it wet, and then you open it. And I mean, boom, like if you could have, that changed my world. That's changed my world. And since then, it's only been a week, but I have been so irritated for a year, not being able to lick my fingers and just thinking everyone has like wet fingers. So thank you to the gorgeous Asian man that told me how to figure out that problem. He helped me. Thank you. It was a game changer. Okay, Jason.
Yeah.
What about you?
Mine is a time saver, game changer. I watch a lot of YouTube, and I watch a lot of like tutorials, and a lot of videos are long on YouTube, but you can change the speed that you're watching videos on YouTube, and I like to watch it at one. You can change it to up to, I think, 2 times. Like you can change it 1.25, 1.5,
Now,
1.75, and 2.
Jason,
Huh?
can you still hear the audio?
Yes. So I can totally understand, and I feel like a lot of people talk slow anyway when they're doing tutorials, and so it helps me watch more tutorials. I like to do it at 1.25. And I also like to listen to music that way now. Like I watched a Beach Boys live concert from the 80s, and it was much better. It was cooler because it was at 1.25 speed. It was a little bit faster.
Jason, if I can make an observation right now, I think you're speaking at 1.25 that you normally talk.
I'm on 1.25 right now. Times.
It's like a baby voice or something.
Jason, that's a very amazing game changer. I had a prepared game changer, but I'm switching mine up because of you, Jason, because of you. What I'm seeing is a game changer, and that is whatever kind of wind machine concoction you got going on. I'm literally gonna start doing it on all of my Zoom meetings. I don't have a lot of hair, but I'm gonna have something that's just gonna be making
like
me dynamic because you lighten up. I can't get as excited as I know. I got shushed twice, so I gotta keep it down, but I'm very excited.
What about
that's a game changer.
I love that you got shushed. That was the funniest because I saw your eyes. It was like a teacher coming to you. You're like, okay.
Shonali, the second time there was a sick man upstairs.
Can you imagine living in New York City? These people in New York, we all just do our. There's a man upstairs. No, Mom, I love you. I understand. She's not used to having you there. That's it. That's all.
Well,
but
I can tell you what, she was my game changer tonight. She just changed this game a lot. I'm gonna be doing this on Decibel 2.
Well, you know what? I want to do one more game changer because Christian is the reason this game changer came into my life. And it was the fact that he and I were leaving brunch, and I had my Google Maps, and he was going, you go that way. You go, that's downtown. I was like, I think I came from that way. Like we had this whole conversation. He goes, look at your map. And I have never figured out how you know what direction you are going on your phone. I just walk and then figure it out from the way that that I move on the map.
I'm sorry, Shonali. Just so the audience at home can really make sure that that point hits home, could you repeat that?
When you're on your Google map, I have no idea what direction I'm facing. And then when I keep thinking when you turn it, it's going to turn like, but I guess it is, right? How does it know if I turn my phone this way, will it still know I'm facing this way?
Well, you tell us, game changer. You
I'm
tell
going to
us.
learn. I'm going to learn. I'm going to learn because
The answer is yes,
game changer.
Shonali. The answer is yes.
But no, it's not the way I'm facing, it's the way my phone is facing.
Right.
That's
You would
the-
imagine that you're facing the same way your phone is facing, unless you hold your phone back here. I don't know.
But if you turn it sideways, right, it should change it with you. Anyway, the fact is, Christian wanted to get away with making fun of me. I'm here giving him credit for the game changer, but yet he still had to like make it more demoralizing for me because he can't stand just getting a little bit of credit for me after his mom shushed him. I was trying to help him.
Okay.
Look, you
Now
can't win.
You need to lower your
outwin.
voice because she can hear you. She's gonna tell me to shush you. Oh yeah.
Can't win.
Oh, yeah. She goes, be quiet, Shonali.
Anyway, the map has the rays going out in the direction. See, Jason didn't know this either. I'm sharing this with him now. The rays go out in the direction that you're going. And
Jason, you gonna allow
it.
Shonali to throw you under the bus like that? I mean,
I
is
feel
that
like
true?
the rays should go the other way.
See?
It's like it should be that way. Like the rays should go
Facing
I
you.
have some
I'm going towards something this way. That's how it should be.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, Christian, I'm giving you credit. I have more, but I just want to make sure I give you credit for the one you gave me.
Thank you. I'll take it, Shonali. Clearly, though, we need to do some more work
because
on
I
that
wanted
game for you.
You're getting shushed by mom. I'm trying to help you out, man. It's like that's hard times. Going home is not easy for everybody. And it's like I love your mom. She's lovely, but no matter who you are, going home there's like brings back things. You know, there's teenage angst in all of us, and you know,
there surely
happens.
is. But I think the game changer now is going to be something that we will continue to celebrate here on WDEK, especially yours, Shonali, especially yours, because yours are so special.
Well, can you play that one more time for Jason, like our game changers? That way, Christian, don't sing it. Your mom's like, look at that, the floss, teeth, dental floss, and it's Tabasco.
Game changers, it's often lost to the game to you. Game changers, it's often lost to the game to you. Game changers, it's often lost to the game to you. Game changers, it's often lost to the game to you.
Oh yeah, it's so good. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That was our new segment, Game Changers, for the first time ever on We Don't Even Know.
Since you did two, Shonali, and I do believe, are we still waiting for
I think so. I just texted her. I mean, so we'll see.
Cool. So I
but
can actually share
okay.
another game changer for myself.
I would love it.
I recently bought a new pair of Levi's jeans. I'm getting into like talking about like clothes and brands and stuff like that, but you know, I had a good experience at Levi's, and they do free tailoring. And I turned my jeans into what I think is most apt to say is culottes. Do you remember culottes?
I love culottes.
You wear culottes? How would you describe culottes?
I have culottes. I call them gauchos and culottes. They're sort of the same.
Oh, so maybe I didn't. What are capris?
Capris are the ankle. The ankle.
That's what I turn my jeans into capris.
Oh, cute.
Because you know the kids these days are kind of rolling up and they're keeping them short.
Yeah,
so I had him just like kind of like chop them at the ankle. I'm gonna have to wear them for you. I may look like a grandma, but because I'm wearing my Crocs with them too. But I have to take a picture.
Oh, that's the part. That's the
It's the Crocs.
The Crocs.
It's the Crocs.
The Crocs with the culottes. I mean the ankle pants. That's a different thing. That's a different thing. But with like sneakers, it's really cute. It's like goes back to it's very cute. I think. Yeah. So let's just rethink with what the Crocs go with, if anything. I mean, you look good.
This could be a new profession for you.
I know. It's not just me. You know that. There's many people that have discussed this with you. It's just me. It's just me and, here.
I'm trying to give you credit, Shonali. I'm trying to give you credit.
Christian, since we are on the heels of the end of our show, because I don't know if our guest is going to be here. I just wanted to do a shout out because today was the first day of the House Committee's investigation into January 6th insurrection. Yep. And there's so much going on in all of our lives, and there's so much that we're all trying to contend with. I've been feeling that this is getting minimized, and it's not, we know it's a big deal, but it's almost like if we give up on not acknowledging and figuring out what went wrong, right, how easily this could happen again. So
you're right. Our democracy depends on it.
And so today there were 4 officers that spoke. I just want to say their names because they blew me away. That was another, like, the Olympics are emotional for me, and their testimony was so emotional for me today. They said things that I don't even know if I've heard any leadership, address in this real pure way of just people that say they do their job. When they get called, they do not ask you what party you're a member of. They come to do the job. So their names, and they described it as an attempted coup, how disgraceful it is that there are people minimizing and actually lying about what happened. And it's the worst. The people that are doing that are the worst America has to offer. They were really upset. Their names are Officer Daniel Hodges. He was the one that was like smushed between the door. Officer Michael Fanoni, who was the one that they were saying they were going to kill him, and then he said, I have kids, and someone let him go. Officer Harry Dunn, who said he's never been called the N-word while he's in office, while he's been doing his work. The first time was during that day. And then Sergeant Aquilo Ganel, and he was teary-eyed. He said he's never seen an attack like that since he was on duty in Iraq. Like, he had never seen anything there. So I just want to make sure everyone, like, if you have anything to offer of support, and in terms of even contacting your leaders to say that you are fully supportive of this investigation, we got to know what happened. One of them said, if you hired a hitman to kill someone, you'd arrest the hitman, and you'd also arrest the person that hired the hitman. And in the same way, that's what we need to know. Who was involved in this, and how does this not ever happen again? Oh, but you guys, I think we have, hey, is there a special guest in the house? Because we actually have a special moment that we wanted to share. We do. We have a special guest here that we wanted to talk to today. Look at this. Justin the Intern is in the house. Christian's in Chicago. Our new Papa is here with us. So we are lucky and fortunate in that my studio, my we don't even know apartment, is across the street from the hospital where Mr. Papa, I like calling him Papa, but Justin just had his baby and Laura. And so we were going to share, can we share that picture? Is that okay? Yeah. Justin's picture of him with his baby. Look at that. Cute. Look at him. And this is like literally, cancel. Right? Oh, look at that. Right after, like they had the baby at like in the morning, between 6 and 7 in the morning, like something like that. He had not slept. Laura had not slept. I caught them like on that high. They had the glow. Look at the glow in his face. He's got great skin anyway. But also Zachary has the same hair as I mean, it's so amazing to me that you have a mom with brown hair and then it's like same exact hair color as Papa. So how, look, I'll put him, I'll make sure you guys can hear him because I've on my headphones. So, just a second. I'm going to put these in. Um,
Justin, I gotta
Hold
say,
on, so
congratulations.
that
You are
he
you are
can hear you
looking
guys.
good for being up for 72 hours.
Oh, yeah, he's going to do this.
Oh yeah, you haven't seen my do. I wanted to look like Zachary. I did it because I wanted to bond with
Now he can.
Zachary.
Okay.
Okay, so now Christian, he can hear you now. If you have any words of wisdom for Justin today.
First of all, I got my haircut because of your newborn son, because I wanted to bond with him. Secondly, I think that you look very good for being up for 72 hours long. And I'm mostly curious, how much did Zachary weigh? It looks like a pretty sizable baby.
3.5 kilos. So that's
7 pounds, and I know we're in
Stop
America.
messing with me, man. What's
This is a worldwide show. That's what Shonali always says.
It's a worldwide show, and we should know. For those of you that actually use the metric system, we need to learn that. But Ronald Reagan said no. We had to be stuck in our. So here we are, still like, I don't know what that means.
Is a good number. Wow, healthy. How are you
Yeah.
feeling, Justin?
How are you feeling, Justin? Like,
Oh, I feel great. I did actually sleep a little bit last night. Laura's still going. She's like, that's my fiance, and she's like superwoman, continuing with no sleep, constantly up feeding all the time. So it's a pretty amazing experience. And
If I could ask you this question, what's the most surprising thing that you've experienced since Zachary has graced us with his presence?
since he came,
Earth?
yesterday, he came yesterday.
I mean, the most surprising was being in the living room, and then since then, I don't know. It's been
A blur.
It's been like, well, we just want to share him with the world, so that's what we've been doing is taking care of him, learning from the nurses and doctors, and
They're so cute.
yeah, and then just telling everybody that we made him.
Yeah, and Laura did an amazing job. Look at
Oh my gosh, that's this
look at
hair.
that hair. It's perfect. They have the exact same hair. Is that amazing or what? Jasper, have you seen this? Come here. Did you see that? They have the same exact hair.
Yeah. I was there. I saw it in the flesh.
Oh, well, that's a perfect way to end our show, isn't it? I'm sorry. I don't know where Meryl is, but I assume something happened because she was in touch with us and we were ready.
Yeah.
We'll have her on in another time.
We'll have her on another show. We're hoping you're okay, Meryl. But we had an awesome show with Helen, and we had a surprise guest who is part of our family. Our intern.
Justin the Intern's here. That's so perfect. And Jason, could you come up on here and share your amazing hair with Justin too?
Wow.
Yeah. So
Everybody's got great hair tonight.
yeah, that's true. Look at that. And Jason, what are you eating? Mixed nuts.
Mixed nuts.
I think I'm going to do the 1.25 speed change too. And Christian, tell Madeline, tell your mom we love her and we're sorry that we, disrupted her evening with your loud mouth, but she created you, so that's her problem. Anyway.
I will tell her all of that, Shonali, and I'll tell her that you said that.
All right, well, we'll see you guys. We're going to go do shots, Justin, Justin Jasper right now, and let him take a shower.
With the baby.
Yeah. Love you guys.
Love you
Have a good
guys. Talk
night.
to you later.
Thank you.
Bye.